Hey guys, I'm Raph and today I'm going to be talking about what I plan to do with QoS. Since I was 8 years old, I've been very interested in computers and programming. I made my first HTML-based website when I was 8 and started learning PHP and JavaScript when I was 9. By the age of 11, I had a good understanding of PHP, JavaScript, HTML, and I was starting to learn Python. I began to get more interested in lower level languages such as C and assembly. Assembly is known as the lowest level language because it gives you direct access to the CPU, but C is also a relatively low language because it lets users access lower parts of the computer, such as the internal video memory systems. Learning these languages gave me insight into what I could learn by making an operating system or other things like that. When I was 12, I decided I really wanted to make an operating system or a programming language, but I realized that this would require a lot more study and understanding of how computers worked. Now, when I'm 13, I've done a lot of research on operating systems, C language and assembly language, and now I think I'm a lot better at it and I'm ready to start making an operating system. Almost a month ago today, I put my first information about QoS on the internet in the form of a question on Quora, which is a website for programmers where you can ask questions about programming. I put a question entitled, "I'm 13, I'm making an operating system, am I crazy?" A lot of people thought that I was just trying to seek attention for my operating system project, but in reality, I really just wanted to know whether it was a bad idea to create an operating system because I knew it took a very long time to program operating systems compared to other things such as small applications and even developing your own distribution of Linux. By the overwhelming responses of people, I gathered by the end that it was actually a good idea and it would teach me a lot of things even if I never actually managed to finish my operating system. Now, almost a month since then, a lot of people have started helping build QoS and loads of people have been really interested in my progress, and that's why I'm making this video to help explain what I'm actually trying to do in QoS, because even some of the developers of QoS are somewhat confused about my actual goals for QoS. When I started making QoS, I knew that I wanted to make something different to current operating systems, or else there wouldn't really be any point except for the educational purpose of making an operating system. I set this list of 6 goals to try to enforce what QoS could be and what I want it to be. Since I started making it, my goals have changed a bit and the changes are reflected in this list you can see now. My first goal was to create an operating system that could run on virtually any electronic application or device. This means things like smartphones, laptops and smartwatches, but it also would include things such as pedometers, heart rate monitors, smart fridges, smart cars and other smart devices. They wouldn't even necessarily have to be smart. Any device that has an Ethernet connection or Wi-Fi would work with this system. My second goal was to create a virtual assistant inside the operating system that would learn from usage and become smarter every time you asked it a question. I ended up deciding to call my virtual assistant Me, but I'm probably going to change this to a different name later. I called it Me because it represents not a different person that's helping you answer questions, but an extension of yourself because you teach it information as you use it. Me works by taking what you ask it and breaks it down into a list of verbs, conjunctions, nouns, adjectives, and many other word types. When it finds words it doesn't know, it will use machine learning algorithms to find patterns between existing words and find a way to fit the word you said into a category. Because of this, if coded properly and done correctly, Me will become a very important and very powerful virtual assistant in the Q operating system and will let users easily access their computers without actually having to interact with it at all once Me can support voice recognition. My third goal was making the code for QoS really small and powerful. What I mean by this is I wanted to write code that could be very small in size but would be very efficient when it was running. We do this now by making sure that at least 3 people check each page of code before we submit it into the main section of QoS code. This allows us to create far more efficient code than normally And it means that we make much more small code for the operating system, which in the end means we've got a better operating system because it fits into much less space, and also it means it runs faster. My fourth goal when making Q operating system was to create a custom programming language specifically for it, that would allow people to write much smaller code and also much more efficient code in less space. It would also potentially allow people to write code faster, and to do this, I decided to create a programming language built from the ground up specifically used to create operating systems. I decided to call it Q programming language, and we're currently working on it at the moment. It means it's a very good choice language to make an operating system with after it's finished being developed, but it probably wouldn't be a very good language to use for high-level operating system and software projects, such as making calculator applications or other things that don't actually require hardware-level access to the computer. My last goal when making QoS was planning to allow users to save their files with much more logical file extensions. This would include things like .photo for photos and .text for text files. You could also have .document for a specially formatted document, but it could be possible just to include every text file in .text, every photo in .photo, every code file in .code, even though code could technically also be .text because it is technically just a text file that is then compiled and turned into code. Having much more logical file extensions like this would mean that anyone that had no background in computers and didn't really understand what the file extensions meant in current computer systems would be able to understand the file extensions in QoS, and they'd be able to use it just like anyone would, and also be able to use the file extensions to help them understand what each file meant. Thank you for watching my video about QoS, and I hope that it makes more sense to you now what I'm trying to do in QoS and why I'm trying to make a new operating system from scratch. Hope that you liked the video, and thank you for watching again. Bye.